Hey now, I'm back with another exclusive and extremely profitable scalping system specifically designed for audacious traders. And after I provide the results to my backtest, you will be witness to some fantastic optimization tips. Just remember what happens to people who watch but are not subscribed. I call this system brutal scalping, and like most trading systems, it can be applied to Forex, crypto, options, stocks, indices, or any instrument that has significant volume and market participants. This trading strategy uses 3 free TradingView indicators. As always, links and settings to all indicators are listed in the description below. The first indicator is the exponential moving average, or EMA. I am going to set the time frame to 1 hour, which will be a higher time frame than the one we will be trading on. In addition, the length will be set to 50 and the color will be rigged for orange. The higher time frame EMA will provide overall trend direction in this scalping system. The second free TradingView indicator is the popular SSL hybrid. I am going to set the ATR multiplier to 3 and check the boxes to display the MA baseline, bar color, upper and lower channels, along with both ATR levels. As configured, the SSL hybrid displays 3 features. First, the hybrid channel itself, expressed as alternating blue and red line through the price. 2, the ATR bands that are generally displayed above and below price. And finally, we will be identifying solid blue and red bars, which are bullish and bearish respectively. The SSL hybrid will provide our entry triggers and stop loss levels. The third study is one I have never shown on the channel before. It is called the volume oscillator. Inputs will be kept at default and I will color it in yellow. The volume oscillator shows the difference between 2 moving averages of an instrument's volume expressed as a percentage. At default display settings, there is a 0 line which I have thickened. This indicator will confirm our entries in a unique way. Let's go over entry criteria and review some examples. As always, system rules and details are listed in the description below. This chart is Bitcoin versus the US dollar 1-minute perpetual contracts. The rules to enter along on brutal scalping are: first, we can see that price is trading above the 1 hour 50 exponential moving average. Second, the lowest candle of the pullback is printed while the volume oscillator is below the 0 line. The theory here is decreasing volume in a pullback could portend a continuation of the overall trend. The final entry rule is for the volume oscillator to be over the 0 line when a blue price bar closes above the SSL hybrid. Increasing volume while crossing above the SSL could foretell a trend continuation. Our rules are met when this candle closes. That is our trigger candle. We place the stop at the ATR line below the trigger candle and target 1 to 2. And this example hits the target. If you enjoy this content, make sure to click that like button. I have one more long example. Price is trading above the 1 hour EMA. Then we can see that the lowest candle in the pullback takes the VO under the 0 line. Third, price moves above the SSL hybrid channel and it takes the volume oscillator above the midline. Everything converges on this candle and it serves as our trigger. The stop is placed at 3 times the ATR and our target is 2 times risk. And our target is hit on this trend continuation. Now we flip to shorts. This is what I will test for shorts. First, we can see that the price is trading below the 1 hour 50 exponential moving average. Next, when I zoom in, you can see that the highest candle in the pullback comes along with the volume oscillator being under the 0 line. Third, price closes below the SSL hybrid line with a solid red candle and it takes the volume oscillator above the 0 line. The 3 rules are met on this candle. That is our trigger. The stop is placed at the ATR band above the 0 line and 1 to 2 is the target. And this short hits the profit target. I am going to show you one more quick short example. The chart shows price trading below the higher time frame EMA. The volume oscillator is below the 0 line on the pullback. And then this candle closes with a solid red candle breaking below the SSL channel, taking the volume oscillator above the zero line. Our rules are met when this candle closes. That is our trigger candle. The stop is placed at 3 times the ATR value of the trigger candle, and the target is 2 times risk. And finally, this gets around to taking us out with a profit. I am going to give you some phenomenal optimization ideas along with a trader's landing score. And now it's time to do what I do. If you enjoy this content, hit the like button. Remember, this is just 100 tests on one instrument. If you are thinking of using this system, please do extensive back and forward testing and be sure to let our community know what you discover. This test was done on Bitcoin versus the US dollar perpetual contracts using 1-minute candles. It took 9 days to find the 100 setups. Most wins and losses in a row equaled each other at 5. The win rate came out at 48% with a nice 1.81 profit factor. Risking 2% per trade, the total gross profit would have been 84%. Just remember that on the 1-minute time frame, a significant portion of the profit would have been eaten up by fees and spreads. So the equity curve here starts out with a nice jump up, followed by an extended consolidation, followed by another account increase of similar amplitude, and the test ends with a pullback. This is what I find truly remarkable about this system and causes it to be an instant candidate for further testing. Zooming out from the 1-minute chart and looking at the 1-hour chart, you can see this test was done in a clear consolidation period. So the effectiveness of this system is that much more impressive. What score would you give this strategy? Let me know in the comments below. I give this system a trader's landing score of 8, and it could easily be increased using higher time frames, divergence and or hidden divergence, plus a couple of these optimization tips. Remember, the enemy of great is good. I have 6 ideas on how we can improve this system. First, if you are going to truly be a scalper on the lower time frames, you must recognize price action patterns. They are more important on the smaller time frames because that is where retail traders operate, and price action patterns are extremely popular with retail traders. We can see a hammer candle clear as water with huge volume coming in the market. If you are a 1-minute scalper, you should have exited on the close of that hammer candle before this huge change in trend. Second, not all volume indicators are equal. If you remember this video where I used the Wada Atar explosion indicator for entry confirmations and to great success, in this system or on this instrument, it may not be as effective. You can see with these signals, the volume oscillator keeps you out, but the WAE gets you in. The opposite could be true in future systems. That is why it is so important to test out different indicators to see which fits best. The next suggestion is applicable to most trading systems. Don't be afraid to zoom out and see what is going on. Is this chart for a trend trader or a range trader? Is it significant that price is hugging the 50 EMA on the higher time frame? What support and resistance lines can I draw and set alerts for? These are all questions that scalpers need to be asking themselves on a consistent basis. Furthermore, it is always an excellent idea to have volume confirm your setups. On this market, there is a volume spike that is confirmed with significant market movement, so setups in this zone would be eliminated. However, the next 2 volume spikes start to create volatility. And then finally, we get a break of resistance, a volume spike with some impulsive candles. This is followed by what an experienced analyst would have expected, a bullish motive move. Fifth, scalpers must always be on the lookout for confluence beyond the standard signals. An experienced analyst will see this instrument is reactive to the 1-hour 50 EMA. We have 2 rejects with volume and then a huge change in trend direction. An experienced scalper would have taken these 3 setups. The next feature you can add to this system is very powerful, and that is volume divergence. When you combine price and volume, you are taking a cue from the most famous traders in history. We can see a clear divergence on the volume oscillator with this lower high plus a higher high on price. Unlike a standard oscillator like the RSI, you are adding volume into your analysis. So in theory, you would have a more powerful warning of this impending downtrend. Check out this playlist for more profitable systems, and have a great day, because you deserve it.